And he constructed the ship, and whenever an assembly of the eminent of his people passed by him, they ridiculed him. He said, if you ridicule us, then we will ridicule you, just as you ridicule. And you are going to know who will get a punishment that will disgrace him on earth, and upon whom will descend an enduring punishment. So it was until when our command came and the oven overflowed, we said, load upon it, meaning on the ship, of each creature 2 mates and your family, except those about whom the word has proceeded, and include whoever has believed. So who was upon the ship? 2 of every creature, every animal, the family of Nuh alayhi salam, except the people who did not believe from his family, and any other people who were believers. But none had believed with him except a few people. Very few people believed in the message of Nuh alayhi salam. Nuh alayhi salam preached for almost 1,000 years, and it has been documented in history that only 80 people accepted the message in that 1,000 years. وَقَالَ ارْكَبُوا فِيهَا بِسْمِ اللَّهِ مَجْرِيهَا وَمُرْسَاهَا إِنَّ رَبِّي لَغَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. And Nuh said, embark therein, in the name of Allah is its course and its anchorage. Indeed, my Lord is forgiving and merciful. And it sailed with them through waves like mountains. And Nuh called to his son, who was apart from them, O my son, come aboard with us, and be not with the disbelievers. وَلَا تَكُمْ مَعَ الْكَافِرِينَ. Do not be with the disbelievers. Don't be in their company, Nuh alayhi salam said to his son. But he said, meaning the son of Nuh alayhi salam said, I will take refuge on a mountain to protect me from the water. Nuh said, there is no protector today from the decree of Allah, except for whom He gives mercy. And the waves came between them, and he was among the drowned. Who was among the drowned? The son of Nuh alayhi salam, the son of a prophet, was among the people who drowned. He perished because of what? Because of his disbelief. And his disbelief was because of what? Because of the bad company that he kept. So instead of keeping the company of his father, instead of listening to the message that his father had brought, the son of Nuh alayhi salam stayed with the disbelievers. And this is a very, very striking lesson. A striking example for all of us, that we have to be very careful ourselves, and for those of us who have children, for our children, the company that we keep and that we see them keeping as well. Why is that so important? Because you unconsciously adopt the habits and the characteristics and the aims and the goals of the people whose company you keep. Is it not true that you start to talk like your company, you start to be interested in the same things? So if you are with people who are negative, who are backbiting, who are ridiculing the deen, then those are the people who you will stay with. But if you are with people who are constantly thinking, I need to do more for my hereafter, I need to do more in terms of good deeds, I need to make my next year, my next week, my next month better than the previous one, need to use my energies better, then what happens to you? You start to think that way too. You start to think there are different ways of doing good deeds. And I should use my life in a good way. I should study harder. I should work harder. I should set goals for myself. I should improve my habits. So if that is the case, whichever type of company a person keeps, that is the kind of habits that they will adopt. In particular for children, because we see the son of Nuh alayhi salam, we should be very careful with the company that our children keep as well, the next generation. And we should be mindful that they are connected to Islam, that they have good role models, that they are seeing positive environments around them. How can we do this? We have to make sure that there are good activities for them to do, that there are good places for them to go to. Is it enough to say that we'll just put a kid in a Muslim school and that's enough? Alhamdulillah, it's very good that we have Islamic schools. It's a very good thing. But there's a desperate need for improvement in those Islamic schools. There's a desperate need for good role models in those Islamic schools. And at the moment, that's not there in the Muslim community. Unfortunately, it's a fact, but it's not there. So we're putting kids in Islamic schools and we're thinking, why isn't it having the right effect that it should be having? Because more effort is needed, more research is needed, we need better role models, more striving so that there is a good environment. Even when it comes to mosques, We should be more accepting of children and young people coming, arrange activities for them, things that would interest them, find ways to bring them in. This is crucial because we have a younger generation who are growing up in a completely non-Muslim environment where there is a huge amount of information coming into them. And if the son of a prophet can be misled, then we have to be very, very careful. It's a striking lesson that if the son of a prophet can be misled because of bad company, then anyone's child can be misled. So we have to make the efforts to make sure that there are such things in the community to provide the good company for the youth and the younger generation. Just recently I was reading a friend of mine who is a very conscientious mother. Her son is, I think, almost 5 years old. And she writes a blog. She was saying that from a young age, she had made sure that her husband was always taking him to the Jumu'ah Salah. And she says now he stands up and he knows the whole of the opening khutbah. He can say it all in Arabic. And he says he will just stand up and start saying the opening khutbah and then just start doing an impromptu khutbah right there by himself. Because there's some mosque somewhere that accepts a 4 or 5 year old to come and sit and listen to the khutbah and look at the effect that it's had. There's a desperate need for this so that children do have that company. If the mosques close the doors on the youth, then tomorrow the youth are not going to come and those mosques are going to be empty and uninhabited. And the millions that were spent upon building them, those empty shells will be left. Because why are the youth going to come later in life when they were not invited when they were young? So what is the point of spending millions if the children or the youth who are actually what makes the Muslim Ummah, if they're not feeling like they can come? That's pointless. People don't train or educate or do anything with their children and then just leave them in the mosque to run around, not teaching them the etiquettes of the mosque, not teaching them how they should behave, how they have to sit and listen to the khutbah. So from the other side also there's a need to train children from a young age so they know the etiquettes of being in a mosque. That is different to another place and we have to follow the etiquettes of the mosque, keep it clean, listen to the khutbah, be respectful of the people who are there. So there's a need on both sides. It's where there is a need to welcome the youth, there's also a need that the youth are trained how they should behave in the mosque so that that relationship can continue in a fruitful way. And it was said, O earth, swallow your water, and O sky, withhold your rain. And the water subsided, and the matter was accomplished. And it, meaning the ship, came to rest on the mountain of Judi. And it was said, away with the wrongdoing people. And Nuh called to his Lord and said, My Lord, inna ibni min ahli. Indeed, my son is of my family. And indeed, your promise is true, and you are the most just of judges.